I tend to chase emotionally unavailable men who make me really anxious and needy and attached. And when I do find an emotionally available man, I get super avoidant and I want to run away from him because I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, so like unless there's something right in the middle that I'm missing, there's no winning.
She keeps it 100% honest. She claims she chases emotionally unavailable men, but when she encounters an emotional available one, she wants to run. And if you ever experienced that pattern or dated someone like that, you already know this isn't about some mismatched astrological sign, it's rooted in psychology. When someone's emotionally unavailable, your nervous system gets activated. You could feel anticipation, uncertainty, maybe some urgency. These novel feelings create a spike in your dopamine levels, and your brain can mislabel that stimulation as attraction. Not because this is what you desire, because they're unpredictable. And unpredictability is addictive to your nervous system. That's how our brains are wired. That's why gamblers love slot machines. Safety can feel unfamiliar because an emotional available person shows up. They're calm, clear, consistent, and instead of relief, you can maybe feel discomfort. Not because they're wrong for you, because they're unfamiliar to you. Your system isn't used to that stability, so that stability seems suspicious. She says there's no winning, but there is. The balance she's seeking isn't from a different partner, it's from a different internal response. Because until someone learns to regulate their emotions, they'll keep confusing anxiety for attraction, peace for boredom, and consistency for a lack of spark. Let me give you a metaphor nobody uses in dating advice. Your nervous system is like a music algorithm. It doesn't play what's healthy, it plays what you've looped the most. So if your first playlist was all over the place, classical music and trap, mixed signals, almost relationships, I'm not ready but don't leave energy, that's what your system thinks is a banger. So when someone consistently shows up, clear communication, predictable effort, no games, your brain goes, this is boring, skip. Not because they're wrong, but because they don't match the old soundtrack. See, emotional unavailable people feel like the dramatic song you need to cry to at 2 a.m. Passionate, intense, addictive. But emotional available people, they're like coffee shop instrumentals. Calm, balanced, and predictable. And the thing is, the overplayed song burns you out. Moving on is when you update that playlist and the algorithm adapts. When your system stops replaying on repeat, when anxiety doesn't feel like attraction anymore, when the unpredictability stops, resetting your chemistry. And suddenly, consistency isn't boring. It's relieving. It's quiet in a way that lets you exhale. It's safe, and safe isn't mid. Safe is sustainable. Because the real flex in dating isn't intensity, it's peace that doesn't cost you your sanity.
Women do know how to submit. They just don't like submitting to a man. But when it comes to their job, they'll submit real quick. They'll clock in on time. They'll keep their mouth shut. They'll smile when they don't want to smile and deal with people they don't even like. Why? Because that paycheck got them in check. But the second it comes to love, the second it comes to that man that they say they're in love with, that they respect, that they want to build a life with, oh, it's attitude time. Oh, now it's why I gotta do all that? Or you ain't my daddy. And that's backwards because that job ain't gonna lay his life down for you. That job ain't gonna love you. But that man that you refuse to respect, that's the one that would die for you. So answer me this. How is it that you can submit to a boss who don't even give a damn about you, but you can't submit to the man who actually does?
All right. This clip is going viral because she's saying something a lot of people believe but rarely say out loud. She basically argues that women don't know how to submit because they submit to their boss every day. So the question she's asking is why not to the man that you love? And on the surface, it sounds logical, but psychologically, it actually misses a huge piece of the puzzle. So, Work and relationships run on two different systems. At work, the rules are clear. You show up on time, you do designated job, you get paid. It's transactional. You don't need people to build a deep emotional trust to follow instructions when the reward is predictable. But when it comes to relationships, relationships don't run on transaction. They're reciprocal. They run on safety and respect from both. And here's the psychological reality people skip. Most people don't struggle with submission, they struggle with trusting someone with influence over their life. Because influence requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is risky, especially for people who grew up seeing controlling relationships, power struggles, or love used as leverage. So when someone hears that the word submit in a romantic context, their brain doesn't hear partnership. It hears loss of autonomy. But here's the twist most relationship debates miss. Healthy relationships aren't built on one person submitting, they're built on mutual influence. Both people adjust, both people respect each other, both people lead in different moments in different ways. And when the balance is there, something interesting happens. Nobody tells them that they're submitted, they feel like they're choosing the relationship. So the real question isn't why won't someone submit? The real question is, does this relationship feel safe enough for both to trust each other with their influence? Because without that, even love can start to feel like a power struggle.
I went on a date a couple weeks ago, and the guy was so nice. He was so nice, so put together, and I hate him.
She went on a date, guy was sweet, put together, checked every box, but she still hated him. I don't think he did anything wrong. Sounds like he did everything right. And somehow, that was a problem. If you ever felt nothing for someone who was objectively great for you, I'm going to explain something about yourself that might be uncomfortable to hear. And before you run to the comment section and fill it up with, she just wants a bad boy, hold on. Because this is actually so much more interesting than that. This isn't about wanting someone toxic. This is more about what our brain has been trained to recognize as attraction. Because here's the thing, for a lot of us, we love excitement and unpredictability, not calm. Calm can feel boring, and boredom doesn't feel like love. And that's the problem. So, next time you go on a date and everything is going good, she's respectful, she's consistent, she's interesting, and you feel nothing, ask yourself, is this actually boring? Or is it just the first time someone showed up without a catch?
You should marry the guy that's obsessed with you, not the guy that you're obsessed with. Why? Why?
Marry the person obsessed with you, not the one you're obsessed with. And I already know half of you just clutch your pearls like I personally attacked you. Because somewhere right now, there's a person you would absolutely rearrange your entire personality for. Change your availability. Pretend you don't like texting when you love texting. And you call that love. And that's not love. That's a situationship with vibes. We've all been there. The person where you check your phone for, but it's just Duolingo, where you practice your text, you draft it, delete it, redraft it, send it, immediately regret it. Feels like you're interviewing for a relationship. And the wild part, the person you're actually obsessed with will probably text you back in 4 hours like, ha ha, lol, yeah. Meanwhile, somewhere else, there's someone who would answer in 4 seconds and write an essay, but you're not interested in them. Okay, but generally, why do we do this? Because it's not stupidity, it's not even in bad taste. It's attachment theory. Let me explain. Psychologist John Bowlby figured out that the way we bonded with caregivers as kids becomes the blueprint our brain uses for love as adults. If love growing up felt consistent and secure, you tend to find stability attractive. Safe feels like home. But if love felt unpredictable, sometimes warm, sometimes distant, your nervous system got wired to read inconsistency as intensity. So the person who's crazy about you, who calls when they say they will, who shows up, who doesn't make you guess, your brain goes, this feels too safe. Something must be wrong with them. And the person who's got this, you spiraling at 2 a.m., wondering if you're too much, your brain goes, this is the one. I feel so alive. That's the hallmark of disorganized love and an anxious attachment style. Here's what nobody tells you about being obsessed with someone. When you're obsessed, you're not actually seeing them. You're seeing the version of them you constructed in your head. The potential, the almost, the if they only would. But the person who's obsessed with you, they're seeing you, the actual you. Bad moods, weird texting habits, and all. That's not boring. That's secure attachment. And a secure attachment is the only kind that actually survives in real life. The butterflies from chasing someone, that's cortisol, others also known as stress. The quiet confidence of someone who's genuinely choosing you every day, that's a nervous system at peace. Allostasis. If you're tired of the gender wars, tired of the rage bait, tired of dating advice that just puts men and women against each other, then this channel is for you. Because the truth is, healthy relationships don't come from choosing sides. They come from understanding patterns, improving communication, and actually listening to each other. So, if you want more conversation that moves us away from blame and toward better dating, hit the like. It helps push this content past the algorithm that thrives on conflict. Subscribe for more psychologically based takes that focus on growth, not division. And in the comments, tell me this: do you think social media is helping dating or making it more hostile? Let's talk about it respectfully.